beautiful people, beautiful people, beautiful people. Let's head on over to the Discord. Drop some notifications. I told everybody in the Discord yesterday that the streams would be delayed for a few days at least. And here I am. So I told a little bit of a lie, so we got to make sure we let everyone know that we are live. Uh, comments. Comments. Let's see who's going to be first today. Will. Will, dude, what's up? Hey, Will was so quick that he couldn't even get the word first spelled correctly. He was like, I gotta get this. Hey, dude, I respect it. I respect it. He's on it. He's on it. What's up, Will? Second, what's up, Barbara? Welcome everybody. Olivia, what's up? What's up? What is up, guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Cassie, what is up? What is up, everybody? Before we get like rolling here, let's see. I am gonna drop the link to the Discord. Let's set that to never expire. Copy. Okay. What's up, Keith? Let's drop that in there. What's up, Sean? What's up? It's good to see all these familiar faces. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Tony. We got all the regulars in here today already. Happy to catch a stream. Happy to have you. Like I said, I told everybody yesterday that the streams would be delayed due to my grandfather having to take care of my grandfather. He had a mild heart attack. He's back home now, but he's doing a lot better. He's doing a lot better than I thought he would, to be honest. He's doing a whole lot better than I thought he would, or than what we imagined he would be. So that's why we're here today. I didn't think it would go that way, but I'm very happy that it did. So here we are. Here we are. We're able to do a stream today. He's taking a nap at the moment. So Sam, what's up? What's up, Wanderlust? What's up, Justin? Oh, Maddie, thank you for that. Thank you for that, Maddie. Thank you for that. I forgot my starting soon text. There we go. There we go. Thank you for that reminder. Thank you for that reminder. Sending my love, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you. Like I said, it's nothing. It's nothing to be concerned about. He's doing a lot better than I imagined he would. Like it's actually quite surprising. Like he seems to be feeling better than he did before, like weeks and months ago. Like I don't know. It's awesome. It's awesome. But how can you go back into very sensitized like I was? What happened? So you're still dreading it, right? You're still dreading it. I don't want to be anxious. I don't want to feel this. I don't want to, which I get. I get that you want to recover. That's completely normal. But there's still a sense of dread there. There's still a sense of don't take me back. And like I said, I get it. You want to recover. Like I'm not trying to take that from you. But at the same time, we don't want the attitude. We don't want the attitude of, oh gosh, I don't want to go back. Don't take me back. You see how much dread, you see how much fear is just in that statement alone, right? Which automatically puts you in this heightened state of anxiety more so than you need to be because there's a sense of dread that's being dumped on top of everything. There's a sense of fear that's being dumped on top of everything. I went through 3 bouts of sensitization. Now, whether you go through 1 bout or 3 bouts, it's really up to you. It's the bad habits. It's the bad habits. There's still so much dread towards anxiety. There's still so much fear towards anxiety. We need to practice and keep the attitude of so be it, right? We need to practice that. Now, I know second fear seems automatic, and it seems automatic because it is such a strong habit, but we need to follow that up anytime we catch ourselves adding that second fear, which is all the I don't want this thoughts, yada, 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 make it go away, yada, yada, yada. All the trying to fight with the thoughts, that won't happen because of this, that, and the other, right? We need to catch all that crap and change it and get into an attitude of so be it, right? Glad he's doing better. What a relief for you and your pop, right? I mean, I'm not trying to be negative, but it just really surprised me, is all. It just really surprised me. I'm glad. Just seeing the title of the stream is already helpful. Nice. All right, guys. So let's see here. Let's see here. Anxiety recovery. Whatever comes will come. Whatever comes will come. So let's go ahead and get rid of this starting soon text. Let's go ahead and get started. We've already got a handful of people in here, so why not? Anxiety recovery. Whatever comes will come. All right. So let's give an example. We love examples, don't we? I'm taking a few deep breaths just in case we get on a rant. I'll be ready to go. Let's give an example. We love examples here. So Jack says, I'm very sensitized and I don't know why. How can you go back into this? How can you go back into being very sensitized? So, you know, let's give an example. This title, whatever comes will come. So we really need to adopt this attitude. So what that would kind of look like is, you know what? If my nerves decide to be fried today, they decide to be fried today. You know what? If my mind decides to send me a bunch of negative thoughts today, then my mind decides to send me a bunch of negative thoughts today. You know what? If I'm going to have an uncomfortable week filled with anxiety, then I'm going to have an uncomfortable week filled with anxiety. We never ever 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 listen to what I'm saying. We never ever 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 want to come at this with an attitude of how do I avoid my sensitized nerves? How do I avoid anxiety symptoms? How do I avoid these thoughts? And see, some people adopt this attitude on accident because they start to listen to the acceptance method and they think, oh, gee golly, here's a way to make anxiety go away. If that's the way you're looking at the acceptance method, you're already going at it the wrong way. You're already going at it the wrong way. Now, that's not to say that you don't want to recover. I get that you want to recover. That's the end goal. But that is to say that you have to understand that the acceptance method is not about asking yourself the question, oh boy, is this the method that's going to make my anxiety go away? Is this the method that's going to make my thoughts go away? That in itself will never be what acceptance stands for. Now, again, yes, you will recover in time. Yes, your nerves will heal in time. That is the end goal. But to get there, you got to stop asking the question when, how do I avoid this? How do I avoid that? To get there, you got to stop asking these questions because these questions are littered in second fear. They are littered in second fear. We need an attitude of whatever comes, which is to say, when I wake up in the morning, let's say I'm sensitized, when I wake up in the morning, I need to have an attitude of, hey, if today my nerves decide to be fried, so be it. If today my thoughts decide to be, through the roof, so be it. Right? We need to wake up with that attitude. We don't need to wake up with the attitude of, oh, how can I tiptoe around anxiety today? How can I, how are my thoughts doing today? Right? Checking in. How are my feelings doing today? Right? How is all this doing today? Let me check in, and if I got a lot of anxious feelings today, if I got a lot of negative thoughts today, let me get on Google and try to find a way around all this. Let me binge watch Wonders Bros videos and try to find that magic phrase that's going to make these thoughts lessen today and going to make these feelings lessen today. You got to understand that yes, I'm giving you tools to recover, but to get there, ironically enough, to get there it's about going through it. To get there, it's about feeling it without the fight. Now, we talked about this the other day. Some people probably hear that and they think, well, all I've ever done is feel it, Wonder Bro. I'm sick of feeling it. Well, you're not feeling it in the way that you need to feel it. You need to feel it in the way that you're not adding to it. You need to feel it in the way that you're not resisting it. You need to feel it in the way that you're not fighting it. That's what we mean by feel it to heal it. We don't mean to feel it in a way that you're adding all this second fear. When will it go away? How will it go away? What can I do to make it go away? Right? And like I said, I know that second fear seems automatic, and that's okay. You can catch it even after it's happened. Even after it's happened, right? And follow it up with some acceptance. Follow it up with, you know what? I'm not feeling the fire. Give me your best shot. You know what? I'm not feeling the fire. Do what you will. You know what? I'm not feeling the fire. It is what it is. Whatever comes, comes. Right? So, essentially, all this journey is breaking a bad habit. Let's face it. At the end of the day, this is what this all comes down to. This is basically just breaking a bad habit. You have got a bad habit of fighting the way that you feel mentally. A lot of this happens mentally. You've got a bad habit of trying to turn away from the way that you feel, and then in doing so, fighting with it, and then in doing so, okay, making it so much worse on yourself. So, we get into these habits of resistance and fight, and a lot of it comes down to what we tell ourselves about our thoughts and feelings. Second fear, right? We get into the habit of second fear because we don't want to feel the way we feel, and then we think that if we try to fight it off or find some sort of solution, or that if we complain and moan about it, right, that we'll somehow feel better. But we don't. In the long run, we're just avoiding feeling it completely, and we're just barely hanging on, right? Well, we need to let go. You need to let go. It's time to let go. You're hanging on to all of these bad habits that you think are serving you, and they're actually keeping you in the prison. They're actually keeping you in the prison. Now, some people will watch this and they'll say, okay, I'm going to dedicate to acceptance. So every time I have a feeling or a thought today, I'm going to, remind myself, hey, Give me your best. Hey, you know what? That's okay. You can be there if you want to be there. I'm going to do this. And then they do that. And then, 30 minutes passes and they don't feel 100%. So they're like, well, this isn't working. And they go right back into second fear. Will never work like that. It'll never work like that. I wish you could get that instant gratification, but the whole point, the entire point of acceptance is to feel it. The whole point is to feel it and let it burn up. The whole point is to go through it, right? And people don't necessarily like to hear that. And also, like I said, people like to say, "Well, all I've been doing is going through it," but you've not been going through it in the way you need to go through it. You've been going through it in the way that you're fighting, tooth and nail. You're fighting tooth and nail not to get pushed over this imaginary edge that doesn't exist, right? And all this fight is keeping you worked up, worked up, worked up. So the advice looks like this. You got to get up with the attitude of whatever comes, comes. And when you notice that you're getting these thoughts, when you notice that you're getting these feelings, instead of jumping up in your head saying blah 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 blah, you gotta look at these thoughts and feelings with the attitude of whatever comes, comes. I'm here for it. Whatever comes, comes. I'm here for it. I'm no longer not gonna be here for it by fighting with it, right? So it's ironic in the way that you think that what you do, all these second fear behaviors, it's ironic that you think those are helpful. We're tricked into believing those are helpful when they're the exact cause of why you continue to live the way that you live and feel the things that you feel and have the thoughts that you have. It's continued danger signals. It's continued danger signals to the brain. The brain never gets a chance to learn, right? Because we're just dumping fuel on the fire. So don't come into acceptance with the attitude of, okay, here's something to make my anxiety go away. Yes, recovery is the end goal, and that's okay to have in your head. That's okay to realize that. But during the process, you want to remember, feel it to heal it. During the process, you've got to remember that I'm going to feel it to heal it. So a lot of times what happens is we get these negative thoughts, we get these feelings, and then we automatically jump up in the head with these second fear habits. And these habits can look like many different things. They can look like many different things. They can look like constant reassurance. They can look like mentally trying to fight the thoughts. This won't happen because of this, this, this. You understand? The more you try to debate with your mind about why these things won't happen, the stronger these thoughts become. So what if instead you come at them with an attitude of whatever it comes, comes. Whatever happens, happens. I'm no longer going to argue with the toddler that lives in my head, right? So whatever you fight against grows and whatever you resist persists. So that means when we have these feelings and we have these thoughts, we need to adopt an attitude of whatever comes, comes. And now you might feel very uncomfortable. And that's okay. We need you to feel very uncomfortable, right? We need you to feel very uncomfortable while actively not fighting it as much. And notice I say as much there because I know nobody's perfect. I understand nobody's perfect. I get that, but we want you to feel discomfort. We want you to be in situations where you're not sure if you're going to pull through, right? Because we want to prove to you that yes, you can. We want to prove to you that you don't have to rely on second fear. We want to prove to you that the automatic habit of second fear does not have to be superior. That you can follow that up with an attitude of acceptance every single time you catch yourself doing it. We want to prove these things to you, which means you're going to have to feel it, which means you're going to have to be uncomfortable. So, you know, when you come at acceptance with an attitude of how can I make it go away, you're losing. You're losing the battle with this attitude. We want you to turn that round to an attitude of whatever comes, comes. And that means you have to face uncomfortable symptoms. That means you have to face uncertainty. That means you have to face those moments where you're sweating bullets and you're not sure if you're going to make it. That means you have to face these moments and actively adopt to the best of your ability. Notice I say to the best of your ability because this is a practice. You have to actively adopt to the best of your ability an attitude of whatever comes, comes, which means you have to catch yourself with that second fear. And that can seem so automatic. That second fear can seem so natural that it just comes to you out of instinct almost. That's okay. You can still catch it and follow it up with a new accepting attitude, even if your voice trembles, even if you don't quite believe it. You can still follow it up with an accepting reminder, and you can continue to do that. That's how you're making progress. It might not feel like it in the moment, but it's a practice. So, you know, what you feed grows. What you resist persists. I could go on and give like a million different mantras, but I think you guys get the idea. I think you guys get the idea by now. And if you're not making as much progress as you would like, understand that you need to look up here. You need to see what you're doing up here. You need to see if every time these thoughts and feelings come, are you truly practicing not adding second fear by changing that attitude? Or are you still up here going, I don't want to feel this. When will it go away? Please make it go away. Right. That was me for a long time. Please make it go away. Please make it go away. So you have to be honest with yourself. We talked about this the other day too. It's so crucial that you're honest with yourself. It's so crucial that you're honest with yourself. Are you putting in the work even though you don't feel like putting in the work? Are you keeping that attitude of acceptance even though you feel like turd? Right? These are the big questions. These are the $1,000,000 questions that you really have to be honest with yourself about. So, are you going into these uncomfortable feelings and these negative thoughts with the attitude of whatever comes, comes? Are you really doing that? Are you catching that second fear? Are you catching it and following it up with acceptance? Are you? This is the question that needs to be answered. This is the question that needs to be asked to yourself while you look in the mirror and answer it with complete honesty. Because if there's a lack of honesty here, if there's no communication between us here, and there's a complete lack of honesty, you're not going to get very far. Because if you're not being honest with yourself, then you're not breaking these habits. And if you're not breaking these habits, well, you're in the boat that you're in. So, honesty is crucial, and I know we're a little bit off the point of the stream today, but let's rope it back in. Whatever comes, comes attitude, guys. This is not about saying to myself, how do I make these feelings go away? This is about saying to myself, bring it on. This is not about asking myself, how do I make these thoughts go away? This is about reminding myself, so be it. If it happens, it happens, right? You're no longer arguing with the what ifs. You're just saying, if it happens, it happens. You're teaching your brain to become comfortable with uncertainty. You're teaching your brain that these thoughts are not real dangers. You are teaching your brain that there is no tiger, right? And that's gonna require a repeated effort. That's gonna require a repeated practice. And like I said, it's so important that you look in the mirror, because if there's no honesty here, if there's no communication between us, and you can't tell me whether or not you can look in the mirror and answer that honestly, am I doing that? Well, then it's out of my hands. It's out of my hands at that point, right? It's out of my hands at that point. You're going to have to take that up with yourself. So, whatever comes attitude, guys, as you go about your day to day and you get shit done, right? That's one of the two main keys, live life. And that doesn't mean you have to pack your day full. It just means do something, right? Do something every now and then. Live your life a little bit. And that could be as simple as cleaning your house. It could be simple as playing a video game. I don't care. It's anything that you want to do. Now, as you're doing that and you get these thoughts and feelings, and you notice that the second fear is automatic, oh gosh, there's that thought, I need to do something to make it go away. You can catch yourself doing that, take a step back and say, you know what, so be it. Whatever. If that thing happens, so be it. Right? And as you get these feelings, you notice that second fear seems automatic. Oh gosh, make that feeling go away. Catch yourself, take a step back, whatever comes, comes. And you got to keep practicing this. You got to do that over and over and over and over and over. Right? You got to do that over and over and over, even if your voice trembles, even if you don't believe the words that are coming out of your own mouth. You got to do that. You got to make that effort, right? And you got to look in the mirror and you got to ask yourself, am I doing that? Everything that I just said right there, guys, about the two main keys, that is the two main keys. But everything that I just said about the two main keys right there, if you can't go in your to the nearest mirror and look in it and ask yourself, am I doing those two things repeatedly with some effort? And that doesn't mean you have to be perfect, but am I putting in some effort to do these two things? If you can't answer yes to that, you found the problem. You have found the problem. And I'm not trying to shame you for it. That's okay. I wasn't perfect either. I made plenty of mistakes. I'm not trying to shame you for it or anything, guys. I'm just asking you that are you being honest with yourself? So, again, to wrap it up, as these feelings come, you got to catch that second fear and you got to turn it into acceptance. That's what Dr. Claire Weeks means by the correct inner voice. She doesn't mean argue with the thoughts or the feelings. She just means keep an attitude of so be it. So when these feelings come and these thoughts come and that second fear habit hits automatically, are you catching yourself in that moment, taking a step back and switching that to whatever comes, comes, so be it? Even if I don't believe it, so be it. Are you doing that? Be honest. Are you doing that? You don't have to be honest for me. I want you to be honest for yourself, right? So if you're making that continued effort, congrats. If you're not making that continued effort, then you can't point the fingers at anything but yourself, right? And that's okay. That's okay. It's okay that we have to get honest with ourselves. It's okay that we have to realize that we've made mistakes. That's fine. That's a part of growing, right? So I hope you guys enjoy the main point of the stream. We're going to read some comments. We've got some comments to catch up on. Make sure you guys leave a like on this video. Yes, please do. Brian, what's up, dude? It's good to see you, Brian. Cassie, what's up? So true. It's like sliding down the slide of a doom, expecting a horrible ending, but you never get to the end. Yes, exactly. You just continue to stay like a hamster with all this second fear, stuck in a hamster wheel. Cassie, that's what I just figured out was my problem. What's up, Tony? All right, guys, I'm gonna switch to post stream for a bit. Catch a smoke. Let me make sure that you guys can hear me on this screen. You can. Okay, we're good. We're good. So how's everybody in chat doing today? Let me get comments pulled up on my end. Let's see here. Keith, what's up, Keith? Welcome, dude. Welcome, welcome. If you did enjoy the main point of the stream today, guys, make sure you leave a like. We are so close to 10K, and that really does help. I know it doesn't seem like that would help, but that really does help. These past 3 days have been absolutely great, as I have actually fully accepted and followed the 2 keys. Today I drank a little bit and my thoughts went a little crazy, but I reminded myself to accept and keep on living. Good, 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 good. Right? Keep practicing though. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's a continued practice. You know, don't lose motivation because, you know, if anxiety symptoms return, that's, you know, that wouldn't be the attitude to have. The attitude to have would be if they return, they return, right? That's true acceptance. That's true acceptance. Having some trouble with night panic attacks, should I resign myself to accepting even if I get no sleep? Well, you're not going to get sleep either way if you're having panic attacks, right? So what good is adding second fear going to do? What good is adding second fear going to do? What, you know, you have to ask yourself the question in life, what good will resistance ever do? Will resistance ever really help any situation? Nah, no, not really. So, you know, it comes down to asking yourself that question, you know, what good will second fear ever do regardless of the situation, right? I just got back from a job and I felt a panic attack coming sitting in the car, and I just simply relaxed in my seat waiting for it to come, and it never did. It never did because you stopped adding fuel to the fire in that moment, right? And that's the beautiful thing to realize. And you know what? If it would have come, that's okay too. But you get my point. I think you get my point. You didn't add that necessary fuel. You didn't add that necessary fuel that panic needs to thrive. So that was a good learning experience for you. I know I sound a little snotty today, guys. I'm not sick or anything. I'm just like, I think it's allergies. Well, you're going through it one way or another, whether you like it or not, right? So it's not that you're not going through fear. You are going through fear. You're going through it right now, but you need to change your attitude towards it. And you might not believe it. That's the thing. That's why people don't do the work, because they don't believe when they tell themselves, okay, let it, whatever comes comes, right? And they give themselves these little accepting reminders throughout the day. They don't believe what they're saying. They don't believe it, and then they go right back to second fear. Well, you don't have to believe it. Your voice may tremble, but we need to get you into that habit of switching the attitude, even if you don't fully believe it, even if your voice trembles. We need to get you into that attitude, right? Even if you don't believe it, even if your voice trembles, we need to get you into that attitude. And that's part of the practice. That's part of the practice. Whether you believe it or not, whether you believe those words, you know, when you say, okay, I accept what comes, even if you don't believe it, you're not fighting. At least you're not fighting, right? So anybody can do it. It's literally just a matter of making yourself do it. And that doesn't mean, oh, Wonder Bro, I can't do it because the fear doesn't go away. No, that's not the point. You're missing the entire picture here. That's not the point. If you are literally putting the work in to remind yourself, okay, whatever comes, comes, and then when you catch second fear again, okay, whatever comes, comes, right? Then you catch second fear again, you follow it up with whatever comes, or whatever you want to tell yourself, right? That's accepting, short and sweet. Then you're doing the work. Whether you feel better or not, that's not the point. You're missing the entire picture if you're basing this, whether this is working or not, on the way you feel. You are missing the entire picture, right? So literally anybody can do the work. It's just a matter of you're under some false beliefs right now that if you don't feel better, you're not doing something right. And that's missing the whole point, right? So literally anybody can do the work. It's just a matter of making yourself do it. It's a matter of making yourself do it, because anybody here is capable of reminding themselves of short, little, sweet reminders of acceptance instead of fueling the fire. Anybody here is physically capable of doing that. You are physically capable of speaking those words. You are physically capable of doing that. But the thing is, you don't do it. And the reason you don't do it is because you don't feel instantly better, so you think something's wrong. No, that's not the point. The point is not to feel better. That's the end goal, right? But as you grow through this, okay, you're going to realize that the end goal is the end goal, but the process is the process, and the process has nothing to do with feeling instantly better. It's just about putting in the work. So I hope that makes sense there. Hey, Wonder Bro, what coping strategies do you use when anxiety becomes overwhelming? How do you settle yourself down? It's not about settling yourself down. It's not about coping. It is about saying whatever comes, comes, and if I die, I die. Whatever comes, comes, and if I go crazy, I go crazy. When you get into an attitude of how do I make this go away? How do I get this to go away? You're in a fight. You are providing the fuel that the fear needs, right? So, are you going to die? No. Spoiler alert, you're not actually going to die. Are you going to go crazy? Spoiler alert, you're not actually going to go crazy. But you get the point. This is never about how do I make it go away? How do I get myself calmer? Take a step back and realize that these questions in themselves are the fuel that the fear needs. They're very counterproductive, right? And it doesn't seem like that. It seems like a perfectly logical question to ask: how do we cope? How do we make it go away? How do we get it from being so overwhelming? But you got to understand that these questions in themselves are littered with second fear. They are littered with fuel to the fire. Do you see how ironic this whole thing is? Does everybody in chat see how ironic this is, right? Does everybody in chat see the irony behind anxiety? I was on my way to the supermarket when I realized I didn't have my cell phone. When the first what if came to my mind, I said, "So be it," and done it. Nice, dude. There's a perfect example. And your voice probably trembled and you probably felt anxious, and that's, the point is not to make that go away, so all of that is fine. But you still physically did you gave yourself the reminder anyway. You followed it up with acceptance anyway. So just because you didn't feel better doesn't mean, you still did the work, right? So you're still making progress. See, that's how we need to look at it. Confidence is something that slowly comes back more naturally as you get on with it, right? So I'll have something else to occupy my time. That sounds awesome, Tony. Yep, reminders are helpful because it's a lot better than the alternative, which is fighting. It's getting yourself into that attitude, right? Even if you don't necessarily feel like it, even if you don't necessarily believe it. That's okay. You just have to make yourself do it, Sam. It's not really something that happens naturally. It's something that you practice, right? It's a practice because you're basically breaking bad habits. You're basically breaking bad habits, so it is a practice. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with having to practice as long as you need to practice. As long as you're doing it. As long as you're doing it, that's fine. No big deal. No big deal. This will never be about coping. This is not about coping. There's a difference between coping. Coping automatically puts you into the attitude of, how do I deal with this? How do I deal with this thing that I don't want to deal with? That's coping. Acceptance is to say whatever comes comes, right? Even if you don't necessarily believe that. That is what there's a difference. There's a difference there. Coping will get you by. Sure, it'll get you by. It'll scrape you by. Acceptance will set you free. So which one do you want to go with? You want to cope? Do you want to cope? Or do you want to accept? Right? Do you want to cope, which means to sit on the edge of your seat and mentally fight with it all just enough to scrape by? Or do you want to say whatever happens, happens? Which do you want to do? Because I'm here to tell you, coping is exhausting, and coping doesn't set you free. Acceptance does. So you decide which route, you want to go. You decide which route you want to go there. And I know what y'all want. It's not a question about what you want. I know what you want. You want to be free, right? So you decide at that point which route you want to go. I've always loved that little saying, Brian. It's so true. So true. Yeah, it's a common trap to fall into, Tony. Feeling like you have to find ways to avoid anxiety. I mean, that's really the whole problem. Is always having the attitude of how can I not feel this? That's really the whole problem. I mean, that's like the fundamental. That's what really makes up second fear is that how can I avoid to feel this? Did you somehow reward yourself each time you catched up? Not really. Not really. I mean, I didn't have like a reward system set up for myself. I just knew what my goal was, right? I just knew what my goal was and just kept at it. I don't think there'd be anything necessarily wrong with that, though, if you wanted to do that. Claire Weeks was so right when she said that people fear if they accept and let things be that they will give it to their thoughts and act out and become unable to control themselves. Yeah. So the fight keeps you on edge and the fight makes you feel like you're somehow staying on top of things when actually you're just keeping yourself prisoner because you're never giving your brain a chance to learn when you do that. And that's really the ironic part about this whole journey is that the fight kind of bluffs you into believing that you're somehow helping yourself, that you're somehow preventing bad things from happening when in reality all you're doing is keeping yourself a prisoner and you're not giving your brain a chance to learn the truth. So therefore you just stay in the cycle like a hamster in a hamster wheel, right? Absolutely. Two main keys for a reason. Live your life. Live your life for you. Live your life, right? Live your life. There's many reasons why that helps. And then, of course, keeping that accepting attitude, not trying to prove the thoughts wrong, just embracing them and feeling what they bring until your brain gets a chance to learn, right? Two main keys for a reason. We say that. We say that all the time. Yeah, anxiety makes you feel a bit like an outcast because everyone else seems to be getting on, right? So it can make you feel like a bit of an outcast, but it's not a problem. That's not a problem. It's just another thought. It's just another thought that comes along, and then we get too curious. Then we try to debate with it a little bit. Yeah, that's the thing, Tony. That's the thing. Feeling follows action. So people, you know, they tend to wait around until they feel good to do things that make them feel good, when really it happens the other way around. You got to get up and do things that you want to do, even if, you know, even if your feelings say otherwise. It's okay. It's okay. You're still in charge of what you do, despite what your feelings say. You're still the boss at the end of the day, despite what your feelings are saying. So it's important to keep that in mind. All right, guys. Since we're hanging out now, let me see. Get some music going. Gotta sit through an ad for a second here. There we go. All right. Where are we sitting at on the subs, guys? I think we're like 50 away. I think we're like 50 away. We're getting close. We are getting close. TJ Wonderbro mode on. These playlists are actually not that bad. They're not that bad. Like, I've actually found a few songs in these copyright-free playlists that are pretty good. They're catchy. Let's see. We had someone new join us over on the Discord. Let's drop another link. For anyone who wants to join us over there. Right there it is, guys, in chat if you're interested in joining us over on the Discord. Until I found myself in the throes of it. Stuff is legit. So much compassion. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that you don't really, you can't really relate to unless you've been through it. It's one of those things. It's like there's no way to really comprehend it unless you've been through it. I totally need to join that Discord. It is awesome, dude. Cassie! Hey! Cassie with a $10 tip says you're a legend. Thank you so much, Cassie. You're the legend. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's get that tip goal updated. Thank you so much. Hey, can we show some love in the chat for Cassie? Please spam the chat with those emojis. We should always show our tippers all the love in the world. They keep the show going. Sorry, got to leave for work now. It's okay. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. If you're late to the stream, guys, it'll be uploaded. Do not worry. I'm thinking about getting rid of this glass thing. I don't know what it does. It's like it's not really doing anything. It's supposed to like fill up with stuff. I don't know. It's not really working. I feel like it's been where it's at right now for the longest time. I don't think it's moving. It's just taking up space at this point. Basically. Is the Discord only for PC? The Discord has a mobile app. There's a mobile app. Now, I do recommend I do recommend, if you're going to join the Discord, do not use it as a 24-hour coping method for reassurance, right? Do not do that. You're going to hurt yourself tremendously bad if you do that. I do not want you to be on the Discord and using it like a forum. That's why we have so many channels on the Discord that are not anxiety related. We've got so many channels on the Discord that are not anxiety related. Now, is it okay to pop in the Discord, maybe ask a question? Yeah, that's okay. You're going to get hit with the same advice over and over. People are going to tell you, stop adding second fear. Switch your attitude up, right? So it's okay to ask questions, though. It's okay to get some support. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all, you know? But do not try to use it as like a 24-hour coping method, give me all the reassurance in the world kind of thing, because you're just going to hurt yourself. You're just going to hurt yourself doing that. I've got a bot over there that reminds people every 8 hours to live their life and do not use the Discord as a 24-hour reassurance kind of thing, because you're just hurting yourself. So keep that in mind. Just something to keep in mind if you are going to join the Discord. Nothing wrong with asking a question from time to time. Nothing wrong with getting some support. But don't use it. Don't use it as a coping method. Don't sit on there and scroll the chat all day. Get up and live. I appreciate that motivation. Thank you, dude. You're the best. No, you're the best. What's up, Jessica? I'll drop that Discord link one more time since people are asking about it. Right there. Anybody that wants to join us. So how can I just stop thinking about anxiety? You'll never be able to stop thinking about anxiety when your attitude is, how can I stop thinking about anxiety? Isn't that ironic? The more you want to stop thinking about something, congrats, you're not going to stop thinking about it now. It's like saying, don't think about a pink elephant. You got to get on with life. You just got to get on with life. And when these thoughts and feelings come, you got to have the attitude of whatever happens, happens. Your mind says you're going to go crazy. You say, so be it. Right? So don't ask yourself the question, how can I stop feeling anxiety? How can I stop thinking about anxiety? That's like me telling you, hey, stop, don't think about pink elephants. First thing you're going to do is think about pink elephants, right? So if you want to forget something so bad, how could you ever forget it, right? You can't. Not when you're going at it about it like that, right? You got to let this happen naturally. You got to have the attitude of whatever happens, happens. I get these thoughts, so be it. I get these feelings, so be it. We don't want to ask ourselves the question, how can I not have these feelings and thoughts, because that's a surefire way to have the feelings and thoughts. Isn't this all ironic? This whole anxiety thing, this whole journey is basically just based around irony. Really, it is. It really, really is. It really, really is. This whole thing is based around irony. Whatever you feed grows. Whatever you resist persists. This is, you know, it'll never be about how can I not think about this or have these feelings. We don't want to go about it that way. We never want to go about it that way, because that's just fuel to the fire, right? We want to say whatever happens, happens, right? And I know that takes practice, and that's okay. Also, we had a tip that I missed. Somebody, Sam must have went directly through the PayPal, which is fine, but that's part of why I missed it, because I only get it on my phone. But thank you so much for the $5 tip, Sam. Let's show our tippers some love, chat. Let's show our tippers some love. We should always show our tippers some love, man. They keep the show on the road. We need to be very grateful for them. So thank you so much to Sam. Thank you so much to Cassie. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. We got to give our tippers some love, chat. We got to give our tippers some love, man. They're the reason that we can be here literally almost every single day. So show them some love. Show them some love. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Cassie. Nightbot coming in with the Twitter link. We do have Twitter. We do have Instagram. We do have Facebook. All that good stuff. All that social medias. Vacate Fear. Check it out. Check it out. I don't really advertise my other social media that much, but I mean, there's some good shit on there. So if you want to check it out, check it out. Check it out. Vacate Fear. You can pretty much find anything that I do underneath Vacate Fear, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Vacate Fear. That'll lead you where you want to go. Thank you, Wonder Bro. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate you. true. It is true. It's so ironic. This whole journey is based around irony. The more we fight with it, the more we become miserable. It's just really it's an ironic journey, and you got to realize the paradox of it all. Should I exercise for anxiety, or is that a bad thing? Well, I am going to tell you that if you exercise with the hopes of that making your anxiety go away, that's not acceptance. You're still trying to find a way to not feel anxiety. And as long as you live your life trying to find a way to not feel anxiety, that's a good way to feel it because you're already in a fearful mode, right? Do you see how that works there? So should you exercise if you want to be a healthier person? Absolutely. Absolutely, I support it. Should you exercise with the goal of making anxiety go away? You're just practicing resistance at that point. You're just trying to find a way around anxiety. And there's no way around it. The only way around it is through it. You got to feel it to heal it. And you got to practice that attitude of acceptance. Some people hear the feel it to heal it the thing, and they think, all I've ever done is feel it. You haven't been feeling it in the right way. You got to actually feel it, which means to feel it without a fight, to remind yourself, so be it. Right? So, should you exercise? If you want to be healthier, yes. If you're doing it just to try to make anxiety go away, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be very disappointed. There's only one way, dude. There's no way around it. You got to feel it to heal it. And that means to feel it in the right way, to feel it without a fight, and remind yourself as many times as need be, I accept these thoughts and feelings. Instead of all that second fear. And that second fear might come natural to you. That's okay. You can still catch it and follow it up with some acceptance. So I hope that answers your question, Kevin. Thank you for the question. Also, guys, if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed, this is your sign. Subscribe, man. Be one of our lucky people that puts us towards 10K. I was proud because I stopped playing games for a long time. Think I'm at a setback. Oh well. So you were playing some video games. You haven't played video games in a while. Get back into life, right? That's good. That's a good thing. Everything that you do as a bonus should be just that, Kevin. It should be a bonus to acceptance. So if you want to start exercising, that should just be a bonus to your life. Not a way to try to avoid anxiety. We want to get you feeling it and accepting it. Alright guys, we're going to switch to post stream again real quick. Thank you again, Sam, and thank you again, Cassie. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, Kevin, all these things should just be bonuses to your life. They should just be icing on the cake. They should never be your attempt to try to make anxiety go away. So if I'm using acceptance and I want to exercise too on top of that, great. But if I'm just exercising with the hopes of making anxiety go away, that's gonna get a bit sticky for you. Anxiety is a funny thing, Sam. It is a funny mechanism that works in funny ways, but once we understand the irony of it all, once we understand the paradox, then we got it. Alright guys, I'll be back in like 2 seconds. All right, I have returned. Have returned. What's up, chat? Isn't that funny how triggers work, Brian? Some people are afraid of exercise. Some people try to use it to get away from anxiety. It's just really what you've convinced yourself of. If you've convinced yourself that exercise is going to trigger you and you want to avoid being anxious, then there you go. If you've convinced yourself that you need to exercise to avoid being anxious, then there you go. So, I mean, it's really just what have you convinced yourself of to try to avoid anxiety, right? Like, what have you told yourself you need to do in order to avoid anxiety, and then that thing becomes a compulsion. But you see how it's all rooted in trying to avoid anxiety, right? You see how it's all rooted at the end of the day in trying to avoid anxiety. Like that's the root of every compulsion or avoidance behavior. It's that we still want to do our best to avoid anxiety. That's the main attitude that we're trying to change up. That's the main attitude shift that we're trying to change. That's going to make the absolute most difference. Is that going from an attitude of what can I do to avoid as much anxiety as possible to an attitude of I'm willing to feel as much anxiety as my body wants to send me. I'm willing to have these thoughts. I'm not fighting anything anymore. So that is the main shift that we're trying to make on this journey, guys. That is the main shift that we're trying to make. And the thought of that to some people sounds scary, but it's no more scary than living the way that you're currently living. Do you like the way that you're living? Probably not. Probably not. That's why you're here. So, what's scarier? What is actually scarier? Finally facing and accepting anxiety without trying to fight with it, or living your life like this? That just sounds gross. Like what's scarier really in the end? What is scarier in the end, guys? Facing anxiety without fighting it and finally feeling it to heal it? And that means even if you're just at your home. That means even if you're desensitized and you live a very normal life. I don't mean face it as in go out and fight with a bear. I mean face it as in stop fighting even during your normal everyday life when you're at home. Whatever. Stop fighting, right? So what's scarier? Facing anxiety without fighting it? And cutting out these mental habits of fighting, or living your life the way that you're living? What's actually scarier in the end? What is actually scarier in the end? You're absolutely right. I love this song, by the way. I do. This is one of those songs that I was talking about. That like is super catchy. And I know it sounds scary to not mentally fight with it anymore, because fighting with it is how you've convinced yourself that you're getting by. So I know just accepting these thoughts and saying bring it on, and these feelings saying bring it on, I know that sounds scary, but what is scarier, guys? What is scarier? Truly, what is scarier in the end? Doing that and healing, or living life like this, the way you're currently living it? What's scarier? What is scarier? You think on that long enough, I think you'll agree with me that although the idea of asking anxiety, saying to anxiety, so be it, whatever comes, comes, the idea of having these thoughts and saying, so be it if it happens, the idea of that is scary. It's spooky. But what is scarier? That or living your life like this? You decide. You decide what's scarier, and then you go from there. Really good, strong point. Appreciate that, Ann. Alone at work today, so I'm tuning in again. What's up? Back again. What's up? We're just hanging out at this point. That's a pretty strong stream, though. I liked it. It'll be uploaded, assuming YouTube doesn't decide to be a bitch, but hopefully we'll be able to do another stream tomorrow. We'll get right back on track, since my grandfather's doing way better than I thought he would be doing, which is awesome. So hopefully the streams won't be affected, but if you don't see me tomorrow or whatever, just know that I'm kind of wrapped up right now. How much do I need to know about anxiety in order to recover? Okay, I'll ask you this question. If you fight anxiety, anxiety is going to stick around. If you accept anxiety and feel it to heal it, eventually your brain's going to learn there's no danger. You now know everything there is to know about anxiety. Live your life, and when these thoughts and feelings come, simply say so be it, or whatever it is you want to say that's short, sweet, and simple, and feel it to heal it. If you heard what I just said right there, then that's everything you need to know. Some people ask that question because they're like, well, Wonder Bro, you've got hundreds and hundreds of videos and streams. How am I going to learn all this? Understand something. All those hundreds and hundreds of videos and streams are the same advice put in multiple different ways, but it's all the same shit at the end of the day. You could watch one of my streams, and that would be enough, right? As long as you understand the two main keys. Live your life, stop fighting with those thoughts and feelings. Just practice an attitude to bring it on instead of having all that second fear. Catch yourself adding that second fear and simply switch that to bring it on, get right back into living. If you understand that, you understand enough. Um, the only reason there's so many videos and streams is because I put it in multiple different ways to try to speak to everyone, right? But it's all the same shit at the end of the day. It's all the same shit at the end of the day. I tell people all the time not to binge watch my videos, to learn the advice and use it, and then just come hang out if you want to hang out. But I tell people all the time not to binge watch my videos, which is probably counterproductive to growing your channel, but I'm not gonna falsely get people to believe that they need to watch every single one of my videos in order to heal. That would probably help my channel grow, yeah, um, but that would be very wrong of me, and I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. So I'm not gonna do that. You do not have to binge watch all my videos. In fact, I recommend that you don't. Right? I care more about you healing than my channel growing. My channel will grow on its own just fine. Um, so I'm not going to recommend that you binge watch all my videos because you don't need to. You need to learn it and use it. What's up, Ryder? It's good to see you, dude. How you been? So many familiar faces in here today. I love it. There's like so many shitty tactics I could use to blow my channel through the roof, but they all involve telling people that they need to binge watch my content in order to heal. I'm not going to take advantage of that. That's stupid. I want people to heal. Are you a fan of GTA games? Yes. Yes. Huge fan of GTA games. I love FiveM. RP servers. Off topic. Nothing wrong with that, Luke. You guys can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Have you been watching the Euros? Is that like soccer or something? Did I even say that right? If that's soccer, no. I don't watch any soccer or anything like that. I watch football. That's about it as far as sports go. I appreciate that, Brian. I appreciate that. I try to be. I could use it to my advantage and get people to believe that they need to binge watch all my videos or that they might miss something important, right? And that would probably skyrocket my channel because the hours watched would just go through the roof. But I'm not going to do that. I would never do that. I want people to heal, and I know as a result of that, it might make it a bit harder for my channel to grow, but my channel is going to grow just fine on its own, so I'm not worried about it. I'm glad you enjoy the chat, Sam. How vocal were you about your anxiety to others? Sometimes I get sick of acting like I'm okay, but if I'm vocal about it to others, I feel like I'm giving anxiety too much power. Well, you're correct. You are giving it too much power. We need an attitude of whatever happens, happens, right? I was not vocal at all about my anxiety to other people, and that was even before I knew about acceptance. The reason I was not vocal for a long time, even before I knew about acceptance, was because in my head I was like, what the fuck can they do for me? Right? Right? Now, because I knew they didn't understand. So, and that's not their fault. That's not their fault at all. But in my head, I was like, what good is telling people that I'm anxious going to do for me? What good is that going to do? Is that going to give anxiety power? Yes. Are they going to be able to give me anything to help me? Probably not. They don't even know what I'm going through. They've never experienced it. So that's what kept me from being vocal about my anxiety. But I don't know. I'm not saying it's wrong to get support, but if you're talking about people who don't know what you're going through, they're probably not going to know what to tell you anyway. They're probably not going to have much to say anyway. I mean, they don't know what you're going through, right? Now, if you want to come in the chat and get a little bit of support, that's different. You're surrounded by people that know what's up. But just your people in your life, your family, your friends, they're probably not going to know what to tell you because there's really nothing to tell you. That's it's all about that acceptance. What's up, Peter? It's good to see you, dude. It's been a minute. How have you been? Hope you're doing well. Doing good. Thanks for asking. Glad your grandfather's doing good. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Bruno. Thank you. So many commercials today, and I've not caught a single one in time. It happens. It happens. Do you still smoke? Yes. Not as much as I used to, but yes, I do. I've cut back, but I still smoke. PO box? No, I don't. I don't have. I still don't have the PO box. Sometimes I take a step back and say, "What the heck? This is really my life right now," and then I laugh in pain. There you go. I mean, laugh at it. It's just whatever you can do to not give this crap power. You're right, Cassie. You're right. The thoughts about how you approach your anxiety. That I'll be unhealthy and unhappy in my fake, and I also worry that I'll always fake smile. Is this normal? It's just more irrational thoughts. People have all sorts of irrational thoughts that take all sorts of different paths, and that's why we say context is irrelevant. Context is irrelevant. Context is irrelevant. An anxious thought is an anxious thought, and the more you fight it, the more it grows. You just need to say, so be it, right? That's why we say context is irrelevant. That's a different situation, Maddie. I agree with you. If your partner, if it's causing issues between you and your partner, and you just want to be more honest about the way that you're feeling, then I agree with you there. That's a good point. There's nothing wrong with admitting to someone, hey, I feel this way right now, and it's okay, but I'm just letting you know. Just letting you know why I'm grumpy. But also, understand, we don't want to look at anxiety as a bad thing. That attitude needs to change altogether, right? Keep that in mind. Whoa. Guys, I cleaned and organized my closet last night. Let me tell you what. That took so long. But we got it done. We got it done eventually. Is believing your skin is unhealthy normal too? Well, see, I mean, there's a million different ways anxiety can go, Luke. You know, I've heard all sorts of stuff, dude. So as far as it being normal, you know, these thoughts can take a million different paths. Everybody's got their own thing, their own set of thoughts. You know, a thought is a thought, an anxious thought is, you know, context irrelevant. So as far as it being normal, like we could get into the specifics of different thoughts all day. There's so many different paths that these thoughts could take. You know, so what makes you tick, but that's what we need to accept. So how does one continue with the acceptance technique if the physical symptoms are very uncomfortable and hinder your day-to-day life? You got to get comfortable with the discomfort. You can't look at it as something you want to avoid, right? So you're not actually using the acceptance technique if you're looking at the physical symptoms as something that you want to get around, right? So we need to continue changing our attitude towards them. You've got to continue changing that attitude towards them. You see what I'm saying? Got a bunch of new people over in the Discord today. Awesome. Welcome, guys. Have I heard that particular one before? That I'm anxious over my skin looking unhealthy? No, I haven't. But you got it. So now you're probably thinking, oh God, I'm special case. My thought is different. No, no. The reason I haven't had it, dude, the reason I haven't heard that specific thought before is because there's a million, billion, trillion, jillion, gazillion, bazillion, gazillion, quadrillion, bazillion, gadillion different thoughts that could come from anxiety. But that's why I keep saying, dude, you have to understand context is irrelevant. Just because I'm afraid of having this and you're afraid of having that, it's still the same shit. It's anxiety. It's negative thoughts, and the more you feed them, the more they grow. You have got to let go of the notion that the context is irrelevant or relevant. Sorry. You've got to let go of the idea that the context of your anxious thoughts are relevant. They're not relevant. It's completely irrelevant because there's a million, gazillion, 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 trillion, jillion different anxious thoughts out there. And that's all irrelevant because it's all the same root problem. What you feed grows. My fear of going crazy that I had for years and years and years is the exact same. It falls under the same anxiety umbrella as your fear of having poor skin is, right? It's a negative thought, and a negative thought is a negative thought. It's all the same. Context is irrelevant. You're making great progress, Brian. You just have to remember, dude, that you can't be, you know, you don't want to let any symptom throw you back into bad habits. You want to keep that same attitude going. You want to keep that same attitude going, you know what I mean? Don't let any symptom throw you back into bad habits. It's easy to do. It's easy to do, but we got to steady the course, right? We got to steady the course. Pretty much, Kevin. I mean, a negative thought's a negative thought, right? It's a beautiful day here today, guys. How's the weather like where you guys are from? It happens sometimes, Brian. So I just wanted to make you aware of it. I appreciate that, Kevin. Thank you, dude. Thank you, thank you. I can find happiness and overcome it if you embrace it. If you embrace it, which means to stop fighting with it. So your mind says, "Oh, you have poor skin." You say, "Yeah, so be it." Right? So you're no longer feeding what you don't want to grow. Do you like Flying Kitty? What is that? I don't know. Is that a band? That's, if I had to guess, I would say that's a band, right? I traded my life savings and current successes over a simple life with no anxiety. I'm just saying that's how much this is affecting me for 5 years. I'm only 24. Brian, Brian, don't make me break out the belt. You need a spanking for that one. That's not the attitude to have. We don't want to trade anything. We want to be okay with this anxiety. We want to walk into it with an attitude of so be it. It's a YouTube channel that makes GTA videos. I don't think I've ever heard of it. I don't think I've ever heard of it. Got to be like the rock guy and Thor Ragnarok when the thoughts or feelings hit. Just be cool, but I'm going to do what I want to do. Exactly. Exactly. We got to embrace. Hey, I'm glad it helped, Sam. That's awesome, dude. Absolutely. Anybody can do it. It's just, are you willing to put in the effort? Are you willing to catch yourself when that second fear kicks in and switch that to an attitude of acceptance and then get on with living your life? That's the two keys. If you're willing to do that and continue to do that no matter how you feel or how your voice trembles when you do that, then you're going to do it and you're going to make it, right? You just got to put in that effort. You got to just put in that work. Does therapy help overcome anxiety and depression? I mean, that's like a personal choice, you know. If you want to go for that, you can go for that. I mean, if you're not using the two main keys, though, you know, that's what we talk about here. If you're not living your life and you're not catching yourself when you fight with your thoughts and feelings and changing that to acceptance, then maybe you should give that a try. You should give that a go. So every time you get a thought, every time you get a feeling and you notice that you're in your head, I don't want to feel this, let me prove this thought wrong, blah, blah, blah. You got to catch yourself and change that to so be it. Whatever comes, comes. Get on with living your life. If you haven't tried that, I would recommend giving that a try. And that's not, you got to remember, it's not going to instantly take all your problems away. You got to feel it to heal it, right? Don't forget that. If you're gonna go forth with this thing, don't forget that. Don't forget that part of the equation. Isn't therapy a form of avoiding? Well, not necessarily. I mean, if the therapy is based around acceptance, no, not really. I mean, you gotta learn the stuff to use it. I wouldn't say it's a form of avoidance. Not all therapies are the same, though. But I can't sit here and tell anybody that they shouldn't go to therapy if they want to go to therapy. That's not my place, right? That's not my place at all. There's a lot of acceptance-based therapies. All right, guys, we're about an hour and 20 into this, so we're going to go ahead and end it here. Oh, stretch. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. I'm sure I'll see you very, very soon. Again, just thank you so much for all that you do. I love you. And I'll see you very, 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 very soon, Brian. But it's true. That's how I feel. I was 36 when it started. I'm 54 now. But now you're on the right track. Stop wishing anxiety away. Stop it. Stop it. Are you learning anything? Are your eyes open? You have your ears open? Or you just go in one ear and out the other? Stop it. Stop it. Damn it. You want to overcome anxiety? Go through it. Stop wishing it away. I love you guys. I love you guys. On a serious note, I love you guys. I'll see you very, very soon. Thank you for all the support. And until next time,